The lightsaber giveaway continues. To enter, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe, turn notifications on, and tell me in the comments what your favorite saber is. Before, Palpatine's hatred for the Jedi would blossom and he would make it his goal to wipe them utterly from existence, Palpatine's hatred was focused on another source. This source was the future Sith Lord's very family. Palpatine fully despised his own blood, as he perceived his family as hindering his greatness and power both within the Force but politically as well. Above all though, Palpatine hated his father Kasinga Palpatine the most, as he deemed him weak from a very young age, but also spiteful and jealous of others. It was for this reason that for nearly all of Palpatine's training under Darth Plagueis the Wise, the source of his power and true connection to the dark side of the Force stemmed from his hatred and resent for his family. Before he would pull on his hatred from the Jedi, it was Palpatine's very blood that drove him through the power of the dark side. In this video, we will explore exactly what Palpatine did when he resolved to kill his family, and why looking back at this moment is when Palpatine felt the most connected to the dark side. Looking back in his weakest moments, picturing the death of his family is where Palpatine found great power in the dark side. In this moment, Palpatine's very father tells Palpatine that he is never to see Plagueis again. He also reveals that he has always hated his son and been ashamed that he was even his father, and longed for him long ago and even prayed for Palpatine to perish. Palpatine's very father wished for him to die and finally rid him of his shame for his very blood and heir to the Palpatine family. Kasinga took a step in Palpatine's direction, only to be hurled back against the bulkhead separating the communications room from the main cabin. A female voice from behind the closed hatch asked in distress, "What was that?" Now nursing an injured shoulder, Kasinga looked suddenly like a trapped animal, his eyes wide with surprise and with fear. He made a move to strike the handplate and open the hatch, but Palpatine thwarted his effort without raising a finger. Twisting violently around, Kasinga fell over one of the acceleration chairs, bloodying his face as it struck the armrest. A pounding began against the hatch. "Guards!" Kasinga shouted, but the word had barely left his lips when the bulkhead against which he was slouched buckled inward, heaving him face first to the floor and driving the breath from him. Palpatine stood, rooted in place, his hands trembling in front of him and his face stricken. Something stirred behind his incandescent eyes. He heard the pounding on the hatch and whirled. "Don't come in. Stay away from me." "What have you done?" It was his mother's voice, panicked. "What have you done?" Kasinga pushed himself to his knees and began a terrified retreat, leaving smears of blood on the deck. But Palpatine was advancing on him now. "If the Force birthed you, then I curse it," Kasinga rasped. "I curse it." "As do I," Palpatine growled. The hatch began to slide now, and he heard the voice of the guard who had escorted him from Jafan 3. "Stop! Kasinga!" his mother screamed. Palpatine pressed the palms of his hands to his head. Then, an eerie calm streaked to the hatch, pulled the surprised guard through the threshold, and tossed him clear across the cabin. Raising his face to the ceiling, he shouted, "We're all in this now." Once more, Sidious allowed his memories to unfold, and he relived the crime, the event, as he had at last come to think of it. His father's limp and bloodied body, the smashed skulls of the bodyguards, his hands clenched around his mother's slender throat, but not really, only in his mind, strangling her with his thoughts. The lifeless forms of his siblings slumped here and there around the cabin. By this passage from the Darth Plagueis novel, it is revealed that the death of his father was simply not enough, and that Palpatine required more as he slaughtered his entire family with his power in the dark side. As his father cursed Palpatine and the Force, he struck him time and time again against the floor before moving on to the rest of his helpless family. But that was the entire moment that unfolded when Palpatine resolved to kill his entire family and become the sole member of the Palpatine household, as well as what Darth Plagueis called the true moment where Palpatine became Darth Sidious. But what are your thoughts on this horrific moment in the Star Wars mythos, and how Palpatine butchered his entire family, specifically his father? Again, don't forget that there is a lightsaber giveaway going on. Thank you guys as always so much for watching. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.